I think I've got a speed advantage over every other heavyweight on this planet. To be honest with you, I've never seen a heavyweight or even a light heavyweight who's like in my league in terms of speed. They're all scary. I'm scared of them all. They're all dangerous.
Tom Aspinall, hello. How's it going?
It's going excellent, thanks. How's it going?
Yeah, not too bad. In pretty desperate fucking need of a haircut, mate. But we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about you. 50 G's, baby. 3 fights, 3 wins. How does it feel?
Yeah, I like the 50 G's. That's like my favorite. That's like my favorite thing ever. Yeah, I love the 50 G's one. Yeah, good, all good. It was. I don't mean to like sound cocky or something because it's not really my, I don't know, personality. But I was expecting to win, so I'm not surprised. I ain't surprised. But the 50 G's, yeah, that's good for me. I'll take that every time.
That's interesting to hear you say that your confidence or what you sort of foresaw happening, because I've interviewed your teammate Darren Till before, and he's kind of he's sort of verbalised a similar kind of position, if that makes sense. He's sort of spoken before about, you know, maybe not necessarily expecting to win, but thinking about it, and when it happens, it's not a surprise. I mean, is that been part of your coaching since you joined Kaobon, or is that something more broadly that you've always felt?
Yeah, it's probably something that I've always felt, as opposed to I don't know. Maybe it is something to do with coaching. I don't know, but I just think that's how successful people think. I don't know, but yeah, it's like a lot of the stuff that happens. Obviously, I'm happy that it's happened that way, but it's kind of been happening in my mind that way for a long time, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, it does. How did you celebrate then? Did you get a chance to hit the town in Vegas?
No. So I fought like about 5:30 p.m. and then basically we just do media, and then they get us out of there, get us back to the hotel, and then the hotel's like, it's in a little bubble, as they call it. So you basically got to stay in your room. And then it got to like 10:30 p.m. and me and my coaches were just like, "Oh, I guess we'll just go to bed then. We'll just go to bed." So we just went to bed. We was in bed by like 10:30.
That is tough, especially as well, I guess, because I don't think Vegas is locked down in the same way as the UK is, right? So you're kind of, it's so close but so far.
I mean, you can go. They told us beforehand that you can go, like you can leave the hotel, but the problem was. If they got a rule, like if you leave the bubble, as they call it, you can't come back in. So you're allowed to leave if you want. It's good for like Americans and stuff, because like they leave, they can go like party or go to the casino or whatever, and then they can just like drive back or get the train back or whatever. But from when my fight was over to when I was leaving, it was something like 18 hours. So I didn't want to like be out of the hotel doing. You know, you're going to be out for a few hours, and then I've got like 12 hours to do nothing apart from wait to go on the plane. So I just stayed in.
Yeah, fair. For anyone who didn't see your fight, you tapped out Andrei Arlovski, former UFC heavyweight champ. Run me through the submission. What were you thinking?
I wasn't thinking a lot, to be honest. That was just a pure reaction. I think it was just like. I don't know. It's so weird. I wasn't like thinking, "Oh, I'm going to take him down in a minute" or anything like that. It was just like I seen an opportunity to take him down, and then before I knew it, my arm was around his neck and he was tapping. So it wasn't like, it wasn't pre-planned at all. To be honest, we never even discussed going for any submissions or anything like that. It just happened that way. So yeah, I guess that's when the best things happen, is when you don't really think about them too much. You just let it happen. It was good.
Instinct, and I guess it comes back to that. What we were talking about earlier, coaching, right? You know, that you're not going in there thinking, "Oh, I'll hit a power double and then I'll get a rear naked." You're so comfortable in your jits, and I guess you have to thank your dad for that. It just happens. It's natural, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's, to be honest, a rear naked, taking the back in general is not something that I do very well, to be honest with you. But like I say, it's something that I've drilled a lot. Like, my body's done it a lot of times, but it's not something that it wouldn't be my first attack. It just happen that way. I don't know. It's weird, but yeah, it's kind of instincts that I practiced that much with my dad and stuff over the years that your body just kind of does it.
Yeah. And like you said about your attacks there, I mean, another thing on show in this fight was your hand speed, which if someone's seen you fight before, isn't a surprise. But how key were you feeling that when you were boxing with him? Did you feel like you had the speed advantage, and how key do you think it was to your success later on?
Yeah, to be honest, I think I've got a speed advantage over every other heavyweight on this planet, to be honest with you. So yeah, I knew that I would have an advantage, but he was actually a little bit quicker than I thought, and you couldn't really see. I think it's only really me who knows, and obviously the team. But I got punched in the eye like really early in the fight, and I essentially had one eye through the whole fight. I couldn't really see anything. It's still a bit blurry now, to be honest, but. Yeah, the speed advantage is definitely there, but I expect it to be there. I've never seen a heavyweight or even a light heavyweight who's like in my league in terms of speed.
Mike Bisping didn't let it get in the way of him making it to a championship belt, so I don't think you've got an excuse either, mate.
Hopefully, it's not going to be that bad. Hopefully, I won't have to have a glass eye. I don't think it's going to be like that. No, it's just I think he just like scratched my eye or something. I don't know. You know, like when you get poked in the eye and you just like blink and it's blurry and that. It was just like that for the full fight. So that's why I was doing. I don't know if you noticed. I did some stuff that I would never usually do, which I stand like with my feet flat and put my hands up like this. Yeah. That's because I literally couldn't see him. So I had to like do that to kind of focus on where he was. Mm-hmm. So yeah, unique experience, but it was good. I learned a lot from it.
Yeah, so that was actually going to be my next question, because you said before the fight that you were looking forward to fighting a veteran because it's an opportunity for you to learn. So the question obviously is, what did you learn other than try not to get poked in the eye?
Yeah, I learned a lot of stuff really. The main one being trying not to get poked in the eye. No, it wasn't a poke, he actually punched me in the eye, so I can't even complain. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I learned. Give me a lot of confidence, to be honest, because I tried to finish him, didn't finish him, and then I didn't get carried away. I just took my foot off the gas a little bit, let my energy build back up, and then used it when I needed it, which is something that I've never really done before, to be honest. So I played with my energy quite well, and yeah, it just taught me that, you know what, you never really. Obviously, I always think that I'm going to be better than these guys, but you never really actually know until you're in there. And now I know that I can beat a former UFC heavyweight champion. I know it. I've done it. So yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, I bet that feels good to be able to say that. Something I find very striking about you, Tom, is how relaxed you are. Before the fight, at the face-off, interviews, you seem so composed. First of all, how do you manage that when you're about to fight, as you've just said, the former UFC heavyweight champ? And secondly, do you feel it's been a big part of the success you found in the octagon?
I think it's definitely been a big part. It's not that I'm not feeling stressed, because I am. And I'm not feeling tense, because I am. It's just, I have little techniques or ways to deal with it, and that's just come over time. A lot of it from, like we just touched on before, like visualization and stuff, and thinking about it, thinking how I'm going to feel, convincing myself that I'm going to be relaxed, even when I don't feel relaxed. And yeah, I feel like if you just act relaxed in a physical sense, before you know it, your mind will kind of start to relax, as weird as that sounds. Like if you're walking around all tensed up and stiff, like physically, then your body will start to get like that. And so your mind will start to like seize up as well. So I try and make a conscious effort of relaxing everything, the way I speak, the way I walk, the way I'm talking and interacting to people, and then before I know it, like I'll just start feeling more relaxed. Yeah, but as far as like interviews and stuff like that, I mean, I don't know. Talking's easy, isn't it? Anyone can talk. Like that, I don't see why people have a problem with it. That's really easy. But I don't know. I think a lot of fighters don't feel. They feel like they have to bring a certain persona across, or they have to answer a question a certain way. And yeah, I'm just not asked about doing that. I'm completely happy to answer it in the way that I want to answer it and be the way that I want to be. I'm completely happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I've just got to get in there first and say that I don't want people to think that they can do my job, that it's super easy, that talking's a piece of piss. Otherwise, I'm going to be out of one pretty soon. So I am going to have to correct you there. No, it's interesting what you were saying about actions and thoughts, because I think often people trick themselves into thinking that like emotion is this subconscious thing that they have no control over, and that sort of the way they behave as a result of how they're feeling, it's like a one-way street. But it's not, because if you want to improve your mood, like just by smiling, being happy, trying to laugh when you're talking to people, or even if you're by yourself, it's not a one-way street. You can change how you're feeling about things, and I think often people get sort of caught in that trap. Sorry, we'll move on. I remember Colin, your coach at Kaobon, said in the build-up to one of Darren Till's fights, I think it was before the Woodley fight, and he was talking about the extent of injuries in the camp, sort of training injuries sustained, sparring partners, that sort of thing. And he said there'd been a few broken noses, I think, that he'd mentioned. Was there anything like that in your sparring? Any casualties in the camp?
Not really. I don't really spar hard, to be honest with you. I know Till likes to go pretty hard in sparring. Me personally, I don't. And yeah, I'm not trying to injure anybody in sparring. Sometimes it's going to happen. Obviously, two big guys throwing down for a long time. But yeah, I'm not interested in it. I save my hard stuff for when I'm getting paid, and that's it. When I'm in the gym, I'm in the gym to learn and get fit. I'm not in there to injure anybody or get injured myself if I can help it.
No, it's really interesting to hear you say that. Am I right in saying you've sparred with Tyson Fury then?
Yeah, that's right. I sparred a lot of rounds with Tyson Fury.
So what was that like? Was that again sort of lighter play sparring, feeling it out? What was your experience?
Yeah, I mean, I've done a little bit of every type of sparring. I've had a lot of gym wars as well over the years, of course, but I'm just not interested in that anymore. I feel like you've seen it on Saturday. I took a lot, not a lot of shots. I took a few clean shots off a guy who's got like 30 knockouts or something. Not 30 knockouts. A lot of stuff. He's got a lot of knockout wins.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to save my brain for them moments, not lose any of my brain in the gym. And if I can not lose any of my brain in the fights, use my defense properly. But sometimes you can't help but get hit with those shots. So yeah, I'm going to try and save everything for when I'm fighting, as opposed to losing it every day in the gym.
Yeah, that's really interesting, because obviously Max Holloway, before his last fight with Calvin, he said he didn't spar once, and then he goes in there and he puts on an absolute clinic. I mean, do you think there's like a sea change happening in fighting now? Do you think people are training a little bit smarter there? And obviously, I'm not saying that sparring doesn't have a place. Obviously, it does, but like that perhaps having a gym war once a week might not be the best way of training anymore.
I think so. It's hard to say. He says he doesn't do any sparring, but he must do some form of live moving around with a partner. Like I do quite a lot of sparring, but it's not. I don't do no heavy sparring really. Maybe I'll throw like a few heavy spars in right before a fight, like in the weeks building up. But I won't be heavy sparring all the time. Maybe it'll be a little bit of a change, but you do have to. I wouldn't like to give someone that I wouldn't like a beginner to be watching this or an amateur to be watching it and think, oh, I don't have to spar, because you have to spar. But once you kind of like I've not had loads of fights, but I think I've had about 13, 14 pro fights, and I've had 10 amateur fights. I've had a few boxing fights and Thai boxing fights. Like, I know I'm tough. I know I can take shots. So I don't feel like I need to work on that really. I saved that for in the fights. But if you're starting off, you need to still establish and condition your body that you can take the shots properly. So I wouldn't recommend not sparring to anyone unless they've had unless they're on a world level. And still then, I still think, I don't believe that Max Holloway doesn't spar at all. He must do some kind of moving around with a partner, whether it's drilling, reactive stuff, or something. You must do something, but maybe just not heavy sparring.
Yeah, I got you. Who do you want next?
The division's quite tied up at the minute. Everyone's fighting each other over the next few weeks, it seems. I don't know. I'd like to fight another veteran. I'd like to fight Dos Santos, Ben Rothwell, someone like that. I don't know. Yeah, someone like that, or Chris Dawkins is a good fight too. I don't know. There's a whole load of different options. We'll see where they go with it. I don't know, but yeah, I like the thought of fighting veterans at this point because I feel like I've got, I learned a lot from the Arlovski fight. And I'd like to learn some more.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to ask you that, so it's interesting to hear it's from that sort of educational perspective. Other than I was going to say, who's the most dangerous fighter in your eyes, other than yourself? But actually, I'll rephrase that. Who do you think is the most dangerous opponent for you in the division right now?
Ooh. Everyone's dangerous, aren't they, at heavyweight? You can't really say that one's more dangerous than the other. They're all scary. I'm scared of them all. They're all dangerous. I don't know. I don't want to sit on the fence, but I can't tell you a heavyweight that's in the top 15 that's less dangerous than the next one. To be honest, the top 15, you can throw them all in together, and they'll come out with different results every time. Do you know what I mean? It's just that's just heavyweight MMA.
Yeah, I think that's I guess that's part of the draw, isn't it, for the fans as well, isn't it? I don't want to be down on some of the smaller guys because it's a different kind of thing that you're watching. But when you are at heavyweight, you're right. Anyone can put anyone out, and it's I guess that's why it is such a big draw. Last question, and I guess it's kind of more like a UK centric thing, but you must feel pretty lucky to be able to train in the gym, outside of the fact obviously that you're a professional athlete. But you can train in the gym right now when most people can't even leave their homes because of the pandemic, let alone go to a gym because they're shut. I mean, how does that feel? I'm guessing pretty good.
Yeah, I mean it's quite nice for me, to be honest. And that is kind of a selfish thing to say, but but even like before the pandemic, I was just going to the gym and back anyway, so it's not too different for me, to be honest. I'd like to go down the pub, I'd like to go and have a few beers, and I'd like to go to a restaurant. I like a bit of food, but yeah, apart from that, yeah, I am really lucky. But things are looking up now, aren't they? It seems.
Yeah,
seems that way. I mean, what do I know? I'm not going to start giving you a load of conspiracy theories and all that, but it seems to me that things are looking up. But I don't know shit about a pandemic. Who knows?
Yeah, man. I think a lot of people feel the same way as you about the pub and going out for a nice meal. I mean, and that's even without having just defeated a former UFC heavyweight champion. So I understand the feeling there for you. Tom Aspinall, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me. It's been an absolute pleasure. All the best in the future, mate. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, mate. Appreciate it. Have a good day. See you in a bit.